Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome to the show Coffee with CEO by CEO Club Pakistan and Management Health. And I feel really proud to say that we are the trendsetter in penning down the success stories of Pakistani entrepreneurs. And today I am having a self-made CEO, Faisel, who is CEO of Commtel, a cybersecurity and system integration company with 300 employees in Pakistan and US as well. Am I right, Ashar?
We do work in the US as well, correct.
So please welcome Faisel to the show. How are you, Ashar?
I'm good, Ji. Thank you very much for inviting me over here.
So 22 years back, you started this company from the scratch, Commtel.
Correct.
How was the experience and what were the challenges you faced?
Challenges, it's a long journey. When we started off like 23 years back, we started with no capital.
Aha!
I think it has been a long, rewarding journey. I think that's what I can say around it. So when we started off, we were more people, we were more partners. When we started off, everyone contributed one way or the other. And then we started evolving with the first customer, the second customer, and then we started growing. So it has been an organic growth. It has been hard work. And it seems like we are at a position, if we look back, I think we have done well in terms of creating job opportunities and giving back to the society. So I think it has been a great journey.
Your this comment was really very two-way positive, like long, rewarding journey. So you focus more on rewarding. That's, I guess, a very good part. So, but I was asking about the challenges. So no finance, no capital. That was the basic thing?
I think the basic goal was to create business, get some closures of the sales and try to learn how we can fulfill those orders, and that's how it is. We started off with a niche. We brought in a video conferencing technology in Pakistan.
Which year?
It's 2001, I would say.
Oh, long time back.
Yeah, so video conferencing at that point of time, because the internet speeds were not that great, people used to run it on ISDN lines. It's a very old stuff, I would say now. So we introduced that. We started off with one product. We capitalized on the niche that point of time, and we led that market. We were the pioneers in that technology, and we have driven that market. So ideally, essentially, then what we have done is whatever we have picked, it's niche. It creates a new type of a niche in the market. We capitalize on that. We learn how to deploy and deliver it to the customers. So I think that's our DNA.
But when I look at 22 years back, a young Ashar, how come this entrepreneurship came into your mind, that you introduced a new product to the new market? Wasn't it easier for you to get on a job, earn a steady monthly income? So how come this entrepreneurship drive in you?
I think my father was doing a business. I used to help him in the business.
Oh.
So it was always, I think, an evident or a thing that I'll end up doing business. Honestly, at that point, we didn't have a clear direction. It was a leap of faith. We decided to take that leap of faith, starting working hard. And I think everyone works hard. I think we have been lucky. Most probably. Maybe it's the wow,
great.
Yeah. So it everything contributed, and I think consistency, persistency, and working day in, day out actually has helped us where we are right now.
Tell us about Commtel now.
Commtel right now, I think in terms of where we are positioned, I think we're very well positioned in the space of cybersecurity. We have been driving the market. I think this is one thing which can actually add a lot to the export side as well. It's a very niche market. It's a complex thing as well. It's not that simple. So we're trying to evolve the company in a way that where we can actually increase more numbers of people being employed. I think that's the goal which we want to focus on.
So are there any horror stories of Pakistan cybersecurity things with you?
I cannot say.
But yes or no? So I know that you can't tell the story.
No comments.
No Okay. All right. And so does this mean when you talk specifically about cybersecurity, means too much pressure?
It's not too much pressure. I think anyone who deals in cybersecurity understands that there's nothing as 100% secure. You will be breached. We usually say there are two types of people in the world. One who are breached and they know. The other ones are who breached and they don't know. So that's how we look at the cybersecurity. But the goal of cybersecurity is not, of course, defense is there, but because of the vulnerabilities and you have to give access to the systems, the goal is early detection of a breach. So what we work ideally is working with the customers, developing systems, processes where if there's a breach, we can detect it early. So the goal is, of course, to stop as much attacks possible. But if you're breached, early detection is the main.
But who's decided what is breachable and what is not breachable? Who is the authority?
It's not defined by an authority.
Okay.
So when you work in a system where, for example, you have to do internet banking, right? So they have to expose their systems to you so you can get access to through your web browser or mobile apps. So that means what they're essentially doing is putting their systems on the internet, right?
Okay.
So when you put your systems on the internet, that means anyone can access it. So when anyone can access it and they're running operating systems, there are vulnerabilities in the operating systems which are not identified till date. So there's always a chance that someone can hack that system.
Do the hanky-panky thing. Okay.
Yes. So the compromise can be done, but the goal of the security teams is early detection.
Cyber security industry in Pakistan, short comment by you.
It's growing. I think it has come a long way. I think it has a great potential, not for the country, but even to generate resources which can be employed globally as well. There's a shortage of 7-8 million people globally in cybersecurity at the moment, and it's exponentially growing.
So like other IT services, so many other, like whether it's software or gaming, we are the Pakistani people or Pakistani companies are having international clients.
Correct.
So how about having international clients of cybersecurity by having a company in Pakistan?
So we are already doing that. We have a SOC which we run 24/7 in Karachi. We are servicing some international customers. I think we need to market ourselves better. We need to be out there more into that. I think resources in Pakistan are very well positioned for cybersecurity. I think they're good resources.
So this part should be branded. Yeah. This part of Pakistan IT industry should be branded.
Of course, it's a sales thing, right? So if they know there is a company or there are companies or there are resources which are providing these services, of course it adds value. And the cybersecurity resource is more expensive than a regular software developer.
Oh, yeah, so, for sure. And for bigger people, for bigger organization means more.
Yes. So they're more expensive. So in terms of outsourcing, it makes more sense. And especially because the retention is really low, because the resources keep moving quickly. So I think outsourcing makes a lot of sense in cybersecurity.
So where do you see 5 years down the road the Pakistan cybersecurity in the globe, across the globe? Not here in Pakistan, but across the globe.
Coming to Pakistan first, and then I'll comment on the global thing. In Pakistan, I think the government initiatives in terms of defining the framework for cybersecurity, especially the NCerts, they have created a department which is looking after it. So if we have more NCerts, which is the national certs, you'll see more regulations coming on the security side. So they will push and enforce. For example, State Bank is very regulating in terms of the cybersecurity framework which the banks needs to follow as well. So it creates a lot of job opportunities, especially in the financial sector, but it's not happened on the other companies like the telcos. PTA has a NCert they have already developed. So you'll see a lot of government regulations on that side which will help grow the local industry as well. In terms of international
scope,
international scope is, again, as I said, 7-8 million jobs globally, especially in the Saudi market. In terms of the security regulations, they're top 5 globally. So they're very strict when it comes to data protection, how the company should run the business. And I'm talking from a cybersecurity perspective. So there's a huge potential in that market.
But do you think that this part of IT sector, means cybersecurity, is under consideration by government?
Of course it is, because they're developing the...
They are giving high consideration to it, yes or no?
It is there.
Okay.
I think because any industry you run, it runs on framework, right? So the government job is to create a framework where it creates the awareness, job opportunities, and matures the market, right? Without the framework. So the framework, some of the places there are there. Some of the places we know it's in the pipeline and they will be there. Once the frameworks are in place, for example, when SCCP is going to release, okay, we're going to have these security regulations. So it will create more job opportunities in terms of developing the industry itself.
So now let's come to the entrepreneurship part. So what do you think are the 3 main basic traits of an entrepreneur?
So I think one is you have to be a leader. You have to lead by example.
By example, for sure.
That's there. Secondly is, and the entrepreneur usually never gives up. They keep trying. Third is, entrepreneur is not afraid of failures. I think those are the top 3 traits, I would say.
What are the 2 things you want to improve in yourself as a leader or an entrepreneur, which you think, karna hai mujhe?
I think being an entrepreneur, you are taking more risks, maybe a little less risks. Maybe it's a bad thing, taking less risk, but I feel like there's always a balance you need to create between the 2 things. So that's there. Another thing is, most probably the second thing I would say is having more financial literacy. You have that, but in terms of, I think entrepreneurs lack that usually. Yeah, because
Pakistan or general?
Generally they do, because I mean, we entrepreneurs, we are more focused on
numbers.
We're more focused on the ideas, how we execute it, and stuff like that. So I think that can help a little more.
So do you think, so yes, for definitely an entrepreneur is more into numbers and financials and ROIs, but do you think that emotional intelligence also plays a very vital role?
I mean, it does in everything you do, right? Because you have to make decisions which are unbiased. You have to keep your emotions on the side, and then you need to put the company first always. So, of course, it's there.
So, does being an entrepreneur means more burden on your shoulders, or you enjoy that part of yourself?
Both.
That's such an honest answer.
Yeah, it is, because, I mean, it's always you're on the edge, I would say. I think that's the right word I would pick. You're always at the edge. You're always firefighting, because you have to run 300 homes, right? So it's a big responsibility as well. You start enjoying it because you're always on the toes. You're always sitting in a roller coaster, right? So maybe that's you like it, and that's why you do it.
Where do you see Commtel 5 years down the road?
I think we would ideally like to be having more job opportunities, maybe close to 1,000 employees in the next 5 years. So that's the target. I think the international business is something which we never looked at. We started looking this Jan. I think that's something which we need to grow more to bring in some dollars as the economy requires that. So I think that's the next 5 years goal.
So you were president for EO last year as well, and you whenever we are meeting you, you're always speaks about EO. Why you are so close to EO? Why you admire the platform so much?
I think EO, the entrepreneur organization, it's an amazing place to be in, because it's a peer-to-peer relationship. When you are heading an organization, it's very difficult to find people who can give you an unbiased, I wouldn't say the word opinion, experience sharing. Because that's what we call it in entrepreneur organization. So experience share is something where we go through a lot of challenges through our life, wherever the stage is at the moment. So it's an organization and a platform which gives you an opportunity to have some experience share from people who are going through it or have gone through it. So I think it's an invaluable
that's
thing,
right.
Which you can't put any number to it, because it helps you figure it out how you want to pivot through that particular problem.
And I think so that by doing all this in EO, it's more like branding CEOs as well, branding CEOs of Pakistan as well, that you are giving them global experience and then you're giving them local experiences as well. And then they are getting to know each other, and then they are getting to know the CEOs across the globe. That sounds wonderful.
So we don't use the word CEO, we use the word entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So entrepreneur, they could be the first generation, second generation, or even the first who have built the company itself. I think entrepreneur. So our focus is on the growth of an entrepreneur itself.
Oh.
So the entrepreneur, so it helps in a lot of ways, right? So think about it. If an entrepreneur can grow emotionally, mentally, and he can learn from experiences, and he has a network a trustworthy network where he knows he won't be judged. He can have an unbiased opinion because there's no interest of people who are going to share their experience. Advices, we don't allow advices. There's no...
Okay.
You can't give an advice in EO. So you can just share your experience. So you just have prospect of different people, how they have gone about a problem you're going through. And it just built on top of it what you have learned. So it helps you. You can call it board of advisors, right?
That's in a company, that's the right thing to call.
So you have your board of advisors who are gonna share their experience, and of course you are an entrepreneur, so you have to make a decision, right? So based on that you can decide, and if you grow as an entrepreneur, you can grow the business, which can help the economy and actually have more job creation. So it's the whole.
It's an ecosystem, na? So Ashar Faisel, CEO for Commtel, how about stress handling? Being in this, in industry from 22 years, how have you learned how to cope up with this stress?
So the technique which I use is I have boxes. So what you do is whatever the problem is, if it's not being solved, you put it in the box
and close it up.
And closed it up for a being.
But if it keep on haunting you,
it's fine. It does that. So that's one of the techniques I use. I keep things in the perspective. The other technique which I use is I look at the implication, the worst scenario and the best possible scenario, and always expect the worst scenario. So you're prepared.
Isn't it you are very calculated?
I'm an engineer, so I've learned to be logical in life. So that's number 2. Third is you disconnect from everything for a bit. I play soccer once a week, which disconnects me 2-3 hours. So physical activity or whatever your passion is, you can...
Disconnection is the key, yes, I guess. It's like... it's difficult, but once you know how to do it, then it's pretty easier now.
The disconnection helps as well. And the main thing is you spend more time with your family. I have a son, so that helps as well.
So how do you handle work-life balance? You are into EO, you are into system integration, you are into cybersecurity.
So I've learned a way to manage my work. So I understand the time I need to give to the family. So I keep my family the first priority and the work the second priority. So that helps me have a perfect or the best possible optimized.
Seriously? You're the first one who's saying that I'm able to balance.
I mean, I have to, because I think it's my responsibility. So
for sure.
Business is a responsibility, family is a responsibility as well. So when you have a responsibility, you need to be genuinely putting an effort to see if you're giving that or not. 2
difficult decisions you have made in your life?
2 difficult decisions. There's a lot of decisions we make day in, day out. I can't think of any. I think every decision is difficult.
It's a difficult decision.
So I believe I can't just
name it right now, huh?
Yeah, name it right now. But there's a lot of decisions you make in life. So I think personal decisions are the most difficult ones. Business decisions have different implications. So most probably some of the personal decisions I've made have been the most difficult ones. Because their implications are different.
What do you notice in a person when you meet for the first time? Two qualities.
So when you're meeting a person for the first time, one thing is I look at if you can have a conversation with that person without having a lot of effort.
Okay. Number 2?
Number 2 is if you're going to eventually trust that person or not.
So, Ashar Faisel, CEO Commtel, your 2 hobbies. We want to know that what do CEO wants they do in their spare time?
I mentioned once, I'm into sports. So, soccer is one, football is one. And second would be cricket, a little. So, sports is...
This is one.
No, this is
sports
two.
like
this
one.
Is like two
no. You have to mention another one. You are into sports and?
I do online gaming at times. So I have a PS5 on my table. And
Seriously? Yeah. Any third option apart from the gaming thing? No, whether physical or on screen?
I don't think so. CSR would be one, but that's very personal, and I wouldn't call it a hobby. That's a passion. So I would say the gaming.
Yeah. Okay. 2 favorite destinations? Or where you want to go?
These days it's Saudi. For sure. Saudi. Makkah and Medina.
Arey wah. Chale, pray for us as well when you will be there. Okay. Your message of hope and optimism for the youth?
I think youth these days, when we were growing up, I think we always talk about opportunities and the challenges. We had less opportunities and maybe less challenges, or maybe more challenges. But I think with the current youth, I think in terms of the access to information, access to different markets and platforms which can connect you quickly with the international market, I think there are more opportunities as well. I always look at the bright side of things. I'm quite optimistic in whatever I do. So being optimistic is one. Being positive is two. There's always you can always take advantage of the worst scenarios in life and turn it to your advantage rather than just look at the disadvantage. If you're a pessimist, if you're always trying to find the reasons why something is not happening, I think moving forward is not an issue. So I think looking at always the positive side and keep moving, you'll eventually get somewhere.
Thank you so much, Ashar. It was so good to have you here, to have such a composed, such a humble CEO who started from scratch. And I learned a lot from you. And the number one thing which I've learned from you was the positivity you carried from the start of your interview till the end of the interview. You said that the rewarding journey it was, and even in the end you kept on mentioning the positive things about the industry, about Pakistan across the globe. So I wish you good luck, and I wish to see Commtel more across the globe 5 years down the road.